You wouldn't know it based upon today's weather, but we are at the coldest and driest time of the year. That's based on climatology. Let's talk temperatures first. That is represented through the coldest average temperatures, both in highs and lows, overlapping on this particular date with a 28-degree low and a 48-degree average high. They kind of overlap here in the middle, though the lows are staggered a little bit later and the highs a little bit earlier. And of course, we know that this time of year can bring a lot of variability with those temperatures. Today, an example of the warmer end, but let's look at the colder extremes that we can experience. In terms of the coldest high temperature, the date for that happened to be one day ago, back all the way in 1918 with just a 2-degree high. The coldest low temperature of all time happened a little bit later in January with a brutal -16. And the coldest wind chill might be something you remember. That happened much later into February in 2021 during that really harsh cold spell. That cold air can extend well beyond the extent of our coldest time of the year, especially because there is a staggered effect between the darkest days and the solstice and when some of that colder air arrives in green country. This is also our driest month, and we have had a couple of Januaries without any bit of precipitation. So let's talk about the driest time of the year. In January, we averaged less than 2 inches of liquid precipitation. On average, about 1.6 inches, and today's daily average is the lowest we have in any point in the year at a mere 4/100ths of an inch of rain. And of that liquid precipitation, about 1.9 inches of it falls in snow. Of course, that's much lower in liquid content there. So why is the coldest and the driest time of the year related? Well, the reason has to do with our sun angle and limited amount of daylight, first of all. That, of course, limits how much we can warm here in the northern hemisphere, and we often get that colder air to build at the poles where it's especially dark and frequently surging south because of the jet stream at this point in the year. And as we talk about the colder air, it comes with a lower capacity for holding moisture, which means it's also related to it being the driest point in the year. And that is certainly reflective of our recent weather trends and the forecast moving forward.